welcome back. Small businesses and households are feeling the brunt of the electricity crisis. Rolling blackouts are expected to reach as high as stage 6 today. This means South Africans will be without power for at least 6 hours in a 24-hour period. Let's take you to our reporter Linda Wuhle, who is in Johannesburg speaking to a lot of people who own businesses. Lindo, tell me how some of these business owners, especially small business, are saying they're trying to combat the electricity crisis in South Africa. I mean, the costs, I can imagine, are also quite stressful for them.
Well, you're right, Maseko. The concern is around businesses, and particularly small businesses that are not able to thrive when it comes to issues of power cuts. 6 hours as a business is a long time and a huge loss as far as generating revenue is concerned. And one of the things that we were able to was to speak to the city of Johannesburg's mayor, eNCA, just about what is it that is a plan for residents and also these businesses in terms of creating that thriving and conducive environment for businesses to actually be able to grow, to be able to self-sustain. And one of the things that she has told us was that they have a benchmarking trip that is currently underway. They are in the Western Cape through Michael's Son, just to get a really sense of some of the things that are being done by the city of Cape Town when it comes to alleviating some of those pressures. So while there is no doubt that businesses are struggling as far as, power is concerned, the inconsistent power that is coming from Eskom at this stage that the country is relied on, one of the things that we understand is that the city of Johannesburg is essentially also trying to adopt what Cape Town has been able to do with independent power producers to say that there must be another alternative as far as Eskom problems are concerned, and that is why they have that particular excursion. But it's all in the name of saying that they do want to assist the residents, they do want to assist businesses, and they're saying that they believe the only way to do this is to bring about independent power producers in the picture to be able to help some of these businesses. Take a listen to what she had to say earlier on.
It's a national crisis, but we're responsible for our jurisdiction, and we would like to make a difference here, being the economic hub. And one of the resolutions of that conference is that we would have an excursion to the city of Cape Town, which is already ahead of the city of Johannesburg in terms of procuring services from independent power producers. MMC Michael's Son is there as we speak with a delegation from City Power. He's also taken some people from Pick It Up to look at their waste solutions as well. But the idea is to learn from the city of Cape Town to fast track us, as we also want to start introducing IPPs into our energy mix. And as you know, one of the resolutions again was that we're going to send out a request for proposals and start bringing in independent power producers, small scale energy generators, so they can help us meet our energy needs. In order for us to offset load shedding, we need to generate an additional 500 megawatts of energy, and it's through these partnerships with the private sector that we'll be able to do that.
And I wonder how easy that's going to be, Lindo, because the city of Cape Town, for instance, or the Western Cape, was not under a coalition government, and Johannesburg is under a multi-coalition government. So I wonder how easy it's going to be for Mayor Mpopalazi to give us that. But tell me, in terms of the businesses that you've spoken to, what are some of the innovative ways they're finding to try and deal with the blackouts?
Well, the issue or the topic of alternative energy supply is certainly among some of the conversations that are being had. But you heard and you asked a question in terms of how easy that would be for a city like Johannesburg, a metro that is led by a coalition government. And we know that even besides that, there are still checks and balances, a vigorous process as far as the legal framework is concerned for even the city of Cape Town to achieve what they want to do, which is to be independent from the grid of Eskom. So those are some of the things that would really take a lengthy period of time. But you're right in asking about how businesses are trying to sort out these issues. And one of the things I can tell you is that while they wait, they'll need to find those alternative sources. In fact, I want to first speak to the visuals that I'm going to show you right now. We've moved to the area of Diepkloof as well as Pinville, and I can tell you that this is one of the businesses that we've been able to speak to. Unfortunately, people around here, they do not want to actually have have, on-camera conversations. And one of the reasons they've told us is that in this area there were some issues around crime. Pegicele, the minister, was here, the minister of police, but nothing has since changed. So they're saying, what is the reason really of having these conversations, of engaging in terms of their problems? It's things that they need to sort out themselves, because they believe that government is no longer on their side as far as issues of solving their problems are concerned. But one of the people that we've been able to speak to was one of the businesses from Redefined Properties, who just opened a mall around the area of Rodiport. They in fact have said that businesses need to renovate, businesses need to innovate rather, and be able to adjust to these current problems. And they're saying that one of the things they've tackled their business is to make sure that 40% of their power supply comes from sources such as solar power, so that when it does come to issues of ESCOM load shedding, they're still able to have power, they're still able to have the small businesses within that particular mall to be able to thrive. So those are some of the things, but essentially the call has been that even with such businesses, I mean, I've been speaking to Upravik here, who basically told us that, we are lucky to find him open like this. Some people were already asking him whether he's closed down his shop or not, and this is because they had no power supply in the area, and they've had then to shut down until they've had a restoration of power. But other people are basically saying that they need to find innovative ways of dealing with the current issues, as well as the reality that South Africa finds itself. Take a listen to one of those corporates that has since invested about 210 million in the city of Johannesburg, building that particular mall, investing in an alternative power solution. But they are calling here for an innovation from business sector to ensure that when issues such as the ones we face as a country come, then they are able to still continue with businesses. Take a listen to Mr. Kopp.
That's why we were so encouraged by some of the comments that the Executive Mayor Umpu Palazzi made around the reasons that got her involved in politics, where she said she was also faced with all these challenges, as you rightly mentioned, and she said enough complaining. She wanted to do something about it and offer her own service, and that's simply something that we also embrace, and an ethos that we firmly believe in. You're quite right. There's many things we can complain about in this country. From a political perspective, economic perspective, we all understand there's upheaval. But as a country, I think we need to look forward. We need to hold hands and join forces. And jointly, I think we can overcome this. Despite all the challenges we've had in the last 2 years, from the pandemic to the looting to the unfortunate flooding and such like, as a country we have managed to get through that. And that is in my mind, evidence of the resilience of the people of South Africa. And that's exactly something like this in our mind hopefully can serve as another motivation for those smaller businesses to say, guys, we're all in this together. What we need to do is look forward and face these challenges head on.
All right, Linda Guhle Xulu in Johannesburg. Let's leave it there for now.